Welcome to the College Essay Advisors podcast. Before we introduce ourselves, here's a little preview of what's to come.
Students ask me all the time, does it matter if you select topic of your choice as opposed to one of the other more specific prompts? Does admissions care? They don't care which prompt you choose as long as your essay blows their mind. Welcome to College Essay Advisors podcast, an ongoing exploration of how to write college admissions essays that get you noticed and accepted. Hi, I'm Stacey Brooke, and I'm the founder and chief advisor at College Essay Advisors.
Hey, I'm Becca Myers, and I'm the Director of Advising at College Essay Advisors.
And today we are going to talk to you about the last coming up prompt. We
Number
did it.
7.
We did it.
I call this one Seventh Heaven.
It is the topic of your choice, which most people love because what it does is it opens up truly all the possibilities. You really can write about whatever you want for the personal statement. The Common App says it right here. Becca, do you want to read to confirm?
Do I ever? Yeah. Share an essay on any topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design.
So again, this is confirmation that no matter what you write about, you will be able to apply it to at least one prompt, hopefully more. And this is a catch-all. It is the prompt you choose when none of the other ones specifically apply. Students ask me all the time, does it matter if you select topic of your choice as opposed to one of the other more specific prompts? Does admissions care? They don't care which prompt you choose as long as your essay blows their mind.
Can I say that high school Becca, dork that she was, would have been most afraid of this prompt. So I just want to give a shout out to the students that love direction and being told specifics. So this is why we say, like, don't write into a prompt, because having the open freedom of this prompt would have scared me. I probably would have read these prompts and been like, okay, I need like to talk about gratitude because that's a very specific noun for me and would be attached to a very specific story. So like, just quick side note, like as a poet, I always began writing in form because I found that when I had to write a sonnet, the structure of the box and the limitations allowed me to be wildly creative. So there are some students who are going to gravitate towards, like, can you give me a specific question first that I can answer so that I can be wildly creative within that confine. Whereas yes, some students are like, I want to write about anything. I don't care. I don't need that direction. And then some students who work with us are going to be like, can you send me brainstorming questions that are very specific because my brain works that way.
I think that's an excellent point. And I think most people work better within the confines of some more specific question.
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason that we use brainstorming questions, and we can definitely do an episode on how to brainstorm or what some of the best brainstorming exercises are. Leave us a comment if that's something you want. And it is part of the reason that our strategy generally with every student is to mine for stories first, think about prompts later. So it's really the process of identifying the subject that ultimately is gonna win admissions over for you should be centered around what's the story about yourself that you want to tell, what are some of the characteristics or qualifications or personality traits that would be appealing to admissions, and how do those show themselves in your daily life, in your past life, over time. So
Yeah.
I think this sometimes is just comforting to students who don't know where to start, and knowing that no matter what you land on, you'll be able to back it into a prompt. It's kind of just some nice insurance. But I agree that topic of your choice is almost always a very overwhelming, paralyzing place to start brainstorming.
I like calling this the insurance prompt.
Insurance prompt.
Nationwide is on your side.
Nice work to that jingle writer. So a couple of answers, a couple of topics with students that we have ultimately backed into topic of your choice. I think with students that I've worked with who play with form a little bit more, or who have just kind of a wild approach to the essay. Like I worked with one student who was obsessed with with HQ trivia, and he wrote his entire essay in the format of an HQ trivia quiz, with answers that related to his life. So that one, even though the answers themselves thematically fit into different components of the other specific prompts, it just felt like, forget it. Let's just throw this in topic of your choice. It's about a few different things, and what will likely speak to admissions first and most strongly is the student's sense of overwhelming creativity and ingenuity in approaching the essay in this format.
I love that. And I love because the word design also makes me think that there can be like wild interpretation to that. Like, I've never had a student try to do like a visual interpretation of this. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm
Mhm.
thinking in terms of like poetry, like poetry that incorporates design elements or interesting spacing. But I think this would be the place to play around with that. Like if I had a student who was applying for like art school, or I don't know, this is a place where you like creativity is rewarded.
That used to be actually really hard for a student to even play with, because they had to fit their answers within the confines of a text box in the Common App that had like almost no formatting abilities. But now that they can use Google Docs, upload a PDF, it seems like that's something that might be more doable if a student so desired.
Yeah. I have an example from a non-traditional student. I think that we've been speaking in these podcasts like about students who are like seniors in high school, but we definitely have students like I had a student who was 23 and deciding to apply to college for the first time, or I think actually had maybe gone to college for a year and then needed to withdraw for family reasons, which like happens to us. We're human, like things
Mhm.
happen. And her opening line to her essay, I'm going to read it to you because this happened in a brainstorm with me. And I immediately wrote to her and said, "This is it. The first time my husband ever bought me flowers was when I told him I wanted a divorce."
Hmm.
I mean, first of
Write
all,
write a
wow.
book. Write a book.
How do you not keep reading that? And also establishes like, I'm not your typical student, you know, like
Mhm.
I've seen some stuff, like I've lived a
Absolutely.
little. This is a student who was applying to become a therapist, actually. So, what a great opening line. Could have fit into other prompts for sure. It was a realization essay. It was about working as a server in a restaurant for many years and how the things that she saw in the restaurant were ways that she also understood people and could incorporate those as a therapist. Like, it was a beautiful essay about lived experience. They could have gone into several prompts, but I really liked it for this particular, like the last prompt, because it did
Mhm.
seem more of her own design. Her life was of her own design. And so I just
Mhm.
thought that was a great way to fit it
Absolutely.
in. Yeah.
You know, one thing we haven't spoken much about, because I think often the students who don't have obvious topics are the ones that, come to us uh for brainstorming help, or the ones who are more inclined to seek out resources to try to jog their memories or jigger their brains a little bit. But there are some students who look at these prompts, or who approach the personal statement, and their story is obvious. It's like
Hmm.
right in front of their faces. And I don't want anyone to think that if you have a story that's like that, that just because you don't have to root around for it like crazy, that it doesn't have value. It absolutely does. So I think a huge part of the success of this is about following your instincts. And, this is going to be easier for some people to identify just because of lived experience. Like, I worked with a student who traveled to the Galapagos and ended up swimming with sharks and exploring the rainforest and climbing a dormant volcano. Look, it was quite clear that when she came to us, she was going to write about that experience, and she ended up sort of dissecting what it means to face your fears. But if you haven't been to the Galapagos and you haven't climbed a dormant volcano, which most of us have not, I think some of these episodes might help you try to root around and find a topic that might not be quite as obvious to you.
Hmm. I have climbed a dormant volcano in Nicaragua, actually.
For you,
Yeah,
I've
thanks.
I've looked at a non-dormant volcano in Japan.
Cool.
Yeah.
I am looking to be sponsored by any travel company. So,
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were gonna come up with something volcano oriented, and
oh,
didn't know what that would be.
that too. I mean,
Volcanic glass.
I like it.
Anyone who produces volcanic glass, we're open. Yeah. So topic of your choice. Nice to have. Doesn't help quite as much with brainstorming necessarily, but it's good to know it's there. And it's also great because it's the last option. 7. That's enough. And if this wasn't obvious up to this point, you only have to write one of these. I think that occasionally we have a student who comes to us and says, okay, getting ready to write all 7. You don't have to do that. You can if you're bored, if you love writing, if you are just passionate about college admissions essays like we are. Feel free. But I also know you guys have a lot of homework, so don't waste your time. You only need to do one.
One is enough is our motto.
Oftentimes, until we get to supplements, save some strength. We hope this helped. We're going to make more and more episodes with more tips. And if there's something specific you're looking for, please let us know, reach out. And we're excited to give you some more helpful hints.
I can't wait for supplements, but mostly because I want to say, what's up, supplement?
Oh, my dear God.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you like our content, please like and subscribe to follow us for more. Happy writing.